this is going to be the Let's Talk for John Wick. I'm going to do it live. Okay. And apologies for the non-scripted nature of my review for John Wick 4, but I just saw it. It's fresh in my mind. I think we're good to go. All right. So for those of you who don't want to know anything, maybe like leave the stream. Again, there will be no spoilers here. I'm not going to spoil anything. I really want you guys to see this movie. So no spoilers. I will give you a brief synopsis of the film. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Fox Star Killer. Appreciate the 1 month. Love you. I'll give you a brief synopsis and then I'll tell you what I thought. Okay. So John Wick Chapter 4. Holy fucking shit. It's good. Here's the synopsis, okay? Here's the synopsis. The synopsis is this. If you have not seen John Wick 3, at the very end of John Wick 3, John is basically done. Like he's out of the secret society that he is a part of. Winston shot him, bang, 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 and he fell off the roof there. Trenton Quinn, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Great movie and a great ending to the franchise. Rip Lance Reddick, gone too soon. Big facts. Big facts. Let's give him a moment of silence. Rest in peace, Lance Reddick. We love that guy. So at the end, he got shot off the roof, and then he meets with the Bowery King, and the Bowery King's like, "You mad?" He's like, "Yeah." "You want to get revenge?" He's like, "Yeah." So that's what this movie is about. Okay, John is trying to get revenge for what happened to him at the end of the previous film. The film starts out, and this is not a spoiler because I mean you see it in the trailer. He starts out in looks like the Middle East, and John pops one of the members of the High Table. Yeah, that's in the trailer, by the way, which is crazy. That's not even the craziest shit that happens in this movie. Okay, so again, no spoiler. And I agree. How did he survive that fall? That was nuts. I mean, he survives a lot worse in this movie. So yeah. Anyway. He is now trying to get revenge. He does that. He kills the member of the High Table, and now they send a member with like carte blanche to do whatever he wants to track down Wick. And now John has to figure out how to get out of this situation with the High Table. And yeah, like that's all I want to give you for the synopsis. John is literally fighting for his life, trying to figure out a way to get out from under the High Table. That's the synopsis, short and sweet. Here's the stuff that I loved. Almost everything. Actually, let me give you the cons first. There is one con in this film. One. The one con in this film is that not John, I'm sorry. The CGI in this movie is not the greatest. There's some issues with the CGI, and that's it. That's the only con. That's the only con. Everything else is great. Listen, okay, look. The movie gives you three like distinct parts of the film. The film starts out in Osaka, Japan. Okay? So you get Osaka, Japan. That's the first part. The second part, they go to what was it? Berlin, Germany, and the last one is in Paris, France. Okay. The weakest of the three is Berlin. But here's the thing. The weakest is the Berlin section, but the Berlin section is like vanilla ice cream. Like still ice cream. It's still good. It's amazing. Like who doesn't like vanilla ice cream? You might choose another type of ice cream, but vanilla ice cream is still good. In my estimation, because I'm a Japanophile, the Osaka section is outrageously good. The film starts with a giant set piece in Japan, and it is mind-blowingly good. It's setting you up for the nonsense that happens in this film. It is incredible, that set piece. I love it to death. It might be my, okay, when I was watching it, I was thinking like, this might be my favorite part of the movie. And then the third act happens when they get to Paris, France. And then you might think like, it starts out with the car chase and you're like, oh, okay, this is cool. But you know, maybe I've seen this before. And then it just keeps going. And then there's a scene at the end of the film where the camera is like top down, like a video game, like you're watching like an isometric video game, but not like so far out, just like kind of panned in a little bit. And it is absurd. The camera work is, for an action film, that was incredibly inventive. My God, that's worth like points by itself. The Osaka section, points by itself. What else did I like? Everybody in this film was really good. I can't think of anybody that was just like bad. I mean, Keanu is not the greatest actor in the world, but goddamn, he does the action sequences to a T. It's outrageously good. It is so good. This movie is incredibly good. Okay. Normally when you watch an action film, okay, it's like going to a birthday party and getting a slice of cake, right? You're like, man, this cake is fucking delicious, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, where'd you get this? Where did you buy this cake? And you want to know, and you ask the person who's throwing the party where they got the cake from, or did they make the cake? And it like leaves you wanting more. You're like, damn, man, I want more of that cake. Like, that's how most action films leave me. Like, there's a section that's just like, damn, that was dope. And you want more. So you ask the person like, hey man, where can I get that cake? John Wick 4 is you discovering the place that made the cake. And you get all of it. This analogy is based on the action sequences. Okay, I talked about the Osaka sequence, right? That is like 30 minutes, and I'm estimating this. It's not an accurate measure of the time. It's like 30 straight minutes of action. They don't cut away from the action to stop and have a talking scene. It's like 30 minutes of just action. People getting their asses kicked. You get the whole cake. Now, do you understand the analogy? It's like, you're not limited to the one slice of the cake. No, you got the whole thing, and now you can eat yourself tired. That's the action in this film. The Berlin section is more like the slice of cake. Because, you know, normally in films in the second act, you have to like set up story bits, and that's all well and good. So that's why I guess it came across as like the slice of the cake. Whereas the Osaka section and the Paris section are the entire cake. The Paris section is the longest. Is it like an hour? I don't know. It's incredibly long, and it's just pure action. It's exactly what you want from a John Wick film. The first one, it was a man, you know, getting revenge for somebody killing his dog. We understood that. You know, his wife left him the dog because she passed away. And then they the dog. So now it's killing time. The second movie, like you get into the world of it. The third was like outrageous. It was action balls to the wall. Halle Berry with her dogs. This one, the movie's 2 hours and 40 something minutes, and you are getting 2 hours and 15 minutes of action. That's how much action you're getting, and you're going to love it. You're not going to get tired of it. It's action bliss, okay? This is high praise coming from me. Wait for this. This is high praise coming from me. This movie is on par with The Raid. It's on par with The Raid. I have said for years, I can't remember when The Raid first came out. I think it's like 10 years ago. I've been saying for at least that long that The Raid is the best action series I've ever seen. It's the best action series ever. This movie is on par with that. I have to give it up. There were some people saying like, yeah, John Wick 3 is like on par with The Raid, and It's on par with the Raid. And I was like, nah, like I love John Wick 3, but the Raid is still the best. This movie is on par with the Raid series. And it's funny that I say that because this movie reminds me of the Raid 2. What do I mean by that? Well, in the first Raid, you're getting like a pure action film. It's just boom, 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 action, action, action. You're not getting too much story. And that's really not the important part of watching the Raid. It's the action that you give a fuck about. And that's kind of where we are with John Wick. But in John Wick 4, or let me bring that back. In the Raid 2, you get more story and they up the stakes with the action. That's what John Wick 4 is. It's like you get a really deep dive into their world, into the world of this underground, crime syndicate, these underground assassins, but it ups the ante with the action. It totally reminds me of the Raid 2. If you've seen the Raid 2, you'll know exactly what I mean by that, where when you watch the two movies back to back, Raid 1 and then Raid 2, Raid 1 is just pure action. Then Raid 2 gives you story with the action and ups the ante with the action. That's what John Wick 4 felt like to me. I love this movie. I'm actually going to see it tomorrow. My boys want to go see it and they haven't seen it yet. I always get the early screening, so I normally see movies twice. This is why I always tell you guys I go to the movies 2 or 3 times a week, because I do. I can't wait to see it again. This movie was incredible. It was incredible. Literally the only negative for me was the CGI, and there was some obviously bad CGI. Like the scene I'm talking about with the camera pointing down at the action and John is going through the hall with this dragon breath shotgun. That shit was, dog, you gotta see it. You gotta see this. It's insane. But that particular moment, you can really see like there's some poor CGI done, but you don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. It does not harm this movie in any way. I'm gonna give this movie an A fucking plus. Third A plus I've given out. A plus. Go see it. It is worth your money. It is worth your time. 2 hours and 40 something minutes, pure action bliss. The story's good. The characters are good. Everything's good, man. Donnie fucking Yen. Donnie Yen is in this movie. Donnie Yen is a beast in this movie. Dude, he hit the dude with one of those. Had my theater whooping and yelling. That was insane. That was in the Osaka section. I'm trying to tell y'all. Go watch this movie. Go watch this movie. A plus. A plus, A plus. You got it, dog. Oh man, I'm excited. I'm kind of pumped, man. I just got out and I had a lot of fun with that. And I can't say enough good things, man. Y'all gonna love this movie. I haven't seen any reviews yet. I'm curious to see what its like Rotten Tomato score is. Let me see. Let me just double check. Oh baby, this movie's listen, I told you guys this before, okay? I said that when the audience and the critics agree on something, that's the consensus. Guess what the score is currently? 95 from the critics, 96 from the audience. There you go. You know I'm not bullshitting you. You know I'm not blowing smoke. Go watch this thing. Go watch this thing. You're gonna have a great time. What an incredible series. We've loved the John Wick series for a while. This movie is the cherry on the top. I think this is the best movie in the franchise. I think it's the best. For a long time, I was hesitant to say that John Wick 1 wasn't the best because it was so tight and concise. No, John Wick 4, it just gives you everything you want. It gives it to you, man. I loved it. Go watch it.